Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 8th tutorial. In this tutorial we're gonna detect windows inside a room or inside a room on the edge of the room. So, for example, I have here a kitchen, and in the kitchen are 4 windows. And in Dynamo we can detect our windows what are inside the corresponding room. We can also use this in Revit itself. You can make it in a schedule. I made already a schedule. So window schedule, let's open it. And as you can see, I only collect the family type and from room and then the name. So for example, my M fixed 0406 is from room. It goes outside the room. But we can also use this, make this with Dynamo, and not in a schedule, but just for data. So if you want to make a calculation of something. So let's close this schedule, and let's go to Dynamo. So let's go to manage, no, that's in 17, add-ins, and open your Dynamo. All right, Dynamo. All right, for this tutorial, we need the Clockwork package. If you go to package and you say search for a package, if you doesn't have already the Clockwork package, you just search here for Clockwork for Dynamo. I use this Clockwork for Dynamo 1.x, and I use the 1.03 version, the latest version. Let's close it, because that's the one you need for this tutorial. If you've downloaded it and installed it, let's get started. So the first thing what we need is room.windows. Retrieve all windows that are associated with a room, hosted in walls and roofs. So this node allows us to get our windows in the corresponding room. What this node needs is, it needs a room and it needs a face. And the output is the windows. You have also a node for doors. So if you replace room with doors, not room, doors, room doors. Oh, that's why. And it needs the exact same input, and it gives the exact same output. Only it gives us a door and not a window. So in this example, in this tutorial, we're going to use the windows. And let me just delete the doors. But you can replace your window with the doors, so you get doors. So let's delete this. And let's get started. The first thing that we need is a room. So we need our rooms from our model. So we are going to call them up by using category. Like so, category, and we need to use all elements of category, so we get all the rooms. So let's search in the category drop-down menu for our rooms. Let's see, ruling, reference, roofs, no, rooms, right here, rooms. And we can connect our category to our input category of the elements. So let's connect it. And as we can see, let me put it to automatic, and start it. It gives us back 6 rooms. And in our model, we have 6 rooms. Let me deselect this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms. So, let's go back to Dynamo, right, like so. And we connect our rooms to the input room of our rooms.window. And now we need a face. So this is important because you can draw rooms in different phases. So we're gonna search in the entry for face, and here we have a node, select face. Select an existing Revit face from the active document. So with this node, you can select a face. I drew my rooms and my windows in new construction. So I select new construction and I connect it to our face. And now, if we wait a bit, it gives us back our windows inside a specific room. So list 0 is equal to the first room. So room 312065. So that's all what we know right now. But you have to check it manually. For example, you have 10 or 20 rooms. You can't look from them all. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the name of the room in front of our windows. So let me close this first. We have a node, and that's called room.name. Oh, name. And this node allows us to get the room number and name in the same string. So get room name. Let's select it and give in the rooms. Alright, and the output is a string. And as you can see in the string, it calls out room 80, test 2, living room 3, kitchen 4. And if we go back to our Revit file, you can see we have room and the number is 80. And we have our room test and the number is 2. So in Dynamo, so for example, in a real model, you have living or bedroom 1 and bedroom 2. You just call it another number, but with this node, you can make the difference between them. So let's close this one. And the only thing that we need to do is, in our list logic actually, add room 80 to the top of our list 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to transpose them in our list. So we use transpose. And we're going to transpose this list, the list of our windows. It gives out a really weird list, as you can see, with 0 values and stuff like that. But that's because if we read the description of it, swept rows and columns in a list of lists. If there are some rows that are shorter than others, that's what we have. We have one row with 4 items, one with 1, another one with 4. It will fill them up, the gaps, with a 0 value. So like here, 0, 0, 0. But what we have right now, so we have 3 of 4 lists. 4 lists, that's the maximum items that we have. So let me close this one as well. And so right now we need to add our room name to the front of our list transpose. So we're gonna search for add item to front. And this is our list. And this is our item. And if we look in it, we can see we have list 1 with rooms and list 1 or list 0 with our rooms. And we have list 1 with a different bunch of how do you call it? Windows, sorry. And if we transpose them back again, so transpose, we should get our original list from the output of our room.windows, and our names are merged in it. So let me give you the example here. As you can see, we have room 80 with the corresponding windows. And if we click on one of those windows, so on the ID number, in Revit it will go to that corresponding number. So if I go back to Revit, you can see it's zoomed in on a window. And it's in a room 80. So I can really quickly check if things get messy or wrong. But for the time being, it seems like it works like a charm. So let's click the last one, zoom out. Yeah, it's still in room 80. And what we need to do next is to get rid of our 0 values, because I don't want to have 0, 0, 0 in my data list. So not for this example, at least. If you go further with this list, so for calculations and stuff, maybe you need the 0 value for the gap, or maybe not. But that depends on your calculations, what you want to do. But sometimes you don't want to change your list order. And if you do some stuff with your list, you can change the order if you don't have the fill-in gap. So pay attention to that. Next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of the 0. And the easiest way to do that is type in equal. So the is. And then you get a node equal x to y. So let's click on it. And we can connect our list to the equal. And if something's equal to 0, it needs to get true. So because our other values are can be anything. So for example, our first value is 0406, but if I use a different family type, it's something else. And also our room number and name is variable. So we can't make a test on that, so we cannot test on 0. So for the next thing we need a code block actually. Just double click and we type in 0 or 0 null. Let me just please select null. As you can see, it gives a suggestion. If you hit the tab button, it will auto fill in the given suggestion. So this is what we need, the 0. It's purple because it's something in the code language. So let me connect it to the Y. And as you can see, we have false, false, false. There's no 0 in here. False, false, but here are 3 trues, and that's in list 1. If I go to my list transpose, I see here list 1, it has 3 zeros. So we already made our boolean, and now we're gonna filter it. So we're gonna filter list, filter by bool mask, yes. And what we're gonna do is we connect them both up. So this is our mask, or bool, oh, sorry. And this is our list. And now we're gonna collect the data from the out, so what filtered out. So if I use the watch node, because everything that isn't 0 is false. So everything that's false goes into the output. So let's connect it, watch, and as we can see here, we have room 80, and it has 4 rooms, or 4 windows, sorry. And we have here room test 2, and it has 1 window. And you can see the zeros are filtered out. If I go with the watch to our in, let me just connect it. You can see empty list, and we have 0, 0. These are all the out-filtered items. So let me delete this. In this tutorial, we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna add a number to it. So we're gonna add number 4 under room 80, so we can see immediately how many windows we have in that room. So how we're gonna do that? We're gonna count our windows. And if we want to count our windows, we have to go back to our room window. And we say here count. Type it in, and count allows us to count a list or something else. So returns number of items in the specific list, or specified list, sorry. So if we add our windows to the count, we can see it gives us back 6, but we have multiple, we need multiple items. So we need one with 4, one with 1, 4 again, like that. So how we're gonna fix this is using a list map. Map list, our list.map, sorry. And in the formula, we're gonna add our count. And in the list, we're gonna put in our rooms.windows, our output of it. And now, as we can see, we have 4, 1, 4, 4, 2, 3. And that's how many windows there are inside. So 4, 1, 4, yeah, and go on. You get the clue. So what we need to do now is to add this list to our main list. So our main list is here. This is the output, but we need to add a number inside it. So what we're gonna do is, let me just see how many layers this has. This has 2 layers, this has 3 layers, and this has 2 layers as well. So if we copy our list, add item to front, and we say our list is our output of our window room. Let me close this, like so. And we connect our list map, the output, so the numbers. It will give us back, hey, go back to automatic. Let me see. Yes. This is maybe what we need. Let me see. It's always hard, you know. Oh, this is the same. Yes, alright. So this is what we need. The next thing what we need is to add our name to the front. So the output of our add item to front is now our list. Let me just move this over here so it's better to see. And the first and the item to the front is our name. So now we have a list, room with our names and our numbers, how many they are, and our corresponding windows. So now if we go back to the end result, we can see we have room 80. It has 4 windows, and these are the 4 windows. You can also add text to the end, so 4 and then windows. Let's do that really quick because that's what I like. You can make it personal. You can make this as personal as you want because there's no good or bad way to handle list logics. But I like to have, on the end of the for, I like to have windows because then I know where this number is for. So is it a windows or maybe it's square meters or something, you know, it can be anything right now. So I'm gonna use the node adds x to y. And I say here in our list map, the x, and I say I want to add window. So I use, oh, don't code block. You can use a string. String. Creates a string, yes. And we can say space windows. Like so. And we can connect it to our add. And the output is 4 windows. 1 windows, yeah, that's weird. But you can make an external filter for this, but I'll leave it like it is right now. And as you can see, everywhere it puts windows on the back of our number. So we know what the number is. And now we're going to change our item to the front from our only number to our name with a number. So if I do that, and let's go back to the end result, we can see room 80 has 4 windows, and these are the 4 windows. So that's it for the basics of getting rooms from your, or getting windows from your corresponding room and how many they are. Sorry. We also made a script. Let me just save this script for you guys and put it on the website, and the link will be in the description. And let's open the script that we made. So we have here rooms Your Ydea. Let's open it. And as you can see, we made a smaller version, and let me just give a little explanation here. I can say true is windows and false is doors. So if I say true or false, false it gives back doors, and if it's true it will give back windows. But I can also say I want both. So I want my doors and my windows. And I use a little if statements. Oh yeah, by the way, if you use the if statement, the normal if statement from Dynamo, it won't always work. And it has a really weird behavior sometimes, especially if you have different lists in the true and false, if they have different items in it. So let me give you a really quick example of what I mean, because I made my own if with a Python script. It's really easy. You can see the up in is our bool. And if the bool is true, the out is our first item, and else it is our second item. And it does not see anything of the list itself. It just gives back the item. So if I go to the if statement of the Dynamo, the normal if statement, what's built in, let's just make true. Or no, let's delete this. Let's make a boolean. So I can switch between true and false easily. Let's connect it, and let's really quickly make a list. So 0 to 10, for example, or list items. Automatic. Oh yeah, it has to run the script as well. All right, so let's connect it to true, and let's say I have another list. So another list. And this list is of letters. So list of list A, or letter A, letter B, and C. And let's close the list. As you can see, I have a list with A, B, C. And these are just numbers. Yeah, it's a list, 2-layer list. It's the same. So now if I say this is my false value, if I say it's true, it gives back 3 items. And that's because our false input has 3 items. So that's actually a bit weird. I don't know why it's like this, but if I go to false, it gives back, of course, my 3 items. And if I go back to true, it still really gives me 3 items, so 0, 1, and 2. But if I add another item to our code block, so what's in the false value, and we're asking for the true value. Let me show you. So let's see, we have a D as well. D. Now it gives us 4 items back, so that's really weird. It's comparing the number of items inside the list, and that's not what I need, because what I want is give me back 1 item. So true or false for the window or door, so give me a window or a door. And if I want both, I want a window and a door. And it's not possible to make that with the standard if statement in Dynamo. So let me delete this. That was the example of the if statement. So that's why I made my own. And the only thing that my script needs is, of course, the face. And it needs, what I give in. So let's say I want both. True. As you can see, it gives windows and doors. That are the categories. And the output is room 80. I don't have a count in it. And it gives me all the windows and the corresponding door, because I have a door in my room 80 set. So let's go back to Revit. As you can see here, room 80, I have a door inside it. And this is how I can really quickly extract data from my room. So for example, if I say, all right, I only want doors. So let's go to set to false and this to false. I only want doors. And as you can see, room 80 has 1 door and the other rooms don't have a door. So that's how I can make a really quick a choice between what I want for the data. So I can also say, no, I want my window. So it calculates the formula again and it gives back my windows. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to visit our website and see you next week. Bye bye.